It's December the 2nd at Stickle Tarn, and it's time for the dogs to have their advent calendars. Come on then, come and sit down and we'll open up your advent calendars. Come and sit down. Sit. Paige, sit. Mia, come here. Sit. And Poppy, are you going to sit? Right. Let's go behind door number 2. Right. Mia, do you want one? Sit down. Good girl. Poppy, sit. Poppy, sit. Sit. We're still working on the sit, but there we are. Good girl. Now Paige, who has been a naughty girl this morning, doesn't really deserve one. Do you? No, you've been naughty. But there you go. There's your advent calendar for today. Okay then girls, off you go. Hi everybody, it's Dawn here at Stickle Tarn. It's December the 2nd. The dogs have just had their advent calendars, and as it's December, it's time I got on with some Christmas preparations. So today, very simple, no cook preparation. It's a bit of a cheat one actually. I didn't get round to making mincemeat this year, and we always have mince pies, and I don't know if those of you across the pond know what mince pies are. It's a mince meat. Traditionally it used to be a meat that was bulked out with fruit, mainly apples and suet and sugar, to make the meat go a little bit further, and it was a little fruity meat pie. And over the years the meat has disappeared from it, and it is now dried fruits, usually soaked in brandy with sugar and some nuts, and so you make these little pastry pies. Some people make big ones to cut and share, and it's a tradition that we have those at Christmas time. So I usually make up, there's only me and Martin at home these days, so I usually make up a dozen or so mince pies, but I haven't made mincemeat this year. So I'm cheating. I bought a jar of, it is just Robertson's mincemeat, a classic one, and it's a fairly cheap one. So, but I'm going to turn that cheap one into a luxury mincemeat, and by the time I'm ready to use it, I usually do my mince pies. We don't have them all through the year, and we definitely don't have them all through December. I usually do mine Christmas Eve, day before Christmas Eve, and then we have them just over the Christmas period. Christmas is a very, very low-key event here at Stickle Tarn, and it's just really a time that we try and spend some time together and do some nice things and take the dogs out down the beach, etc. because the rest of the year is sort of pretty full on. So we try and just make it a relaxed affair for us. So I'm going to turn a cheap jar of mincemeat into a luxury mincemeat that's going to be ready for me to use by Christmas. Right, I've got my ingredients ready. I've got my cheap jar of mincemeat. I've got some glacé cherries, some walnuts, and a coffee liqueur. And that is what I'm going to be adding to this mincemeat. So we'll make a start. I'll tip the mincemeat into a bigger jar. So I actually like mince pies. Martin, he'll have them. He's it's not, you know, his number one favourite, but he does have them, have one or two at Christmas time. And if we have mincemeat left over from doing the pies, then I usually just add that to a fruitcake. Right, so there's the mincemeat in the jar. So to that I'm going to add some chopped glacé cherries. I do like glacé cherries, and they are I'm going to chop them into quarters. They're a bit of a luxury because it's not something we have all the time. I did attempt one year to make my own glacé cherries, and it was such a faff. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy them. Self-sufficiency isn't, you know, about making things difficult for yourself, and some things we do, some things we don't. So I'm not adding the whole tub, and I have I've got quite a few Christmas things that I do start preparing throughout Christmas, or throughout the Christmas season, the run up to Christmas, and so there'll be quite a few videos out showing what I'm making, what I'm doing. This one is a very quick, no cook preparation. So we don't even do the traditional roast or turkey at Christmas anymore. So, but I'll tell you a bit nearer Christmas what we're going to be having that day. So I'm going to stir in my cherries. See how that is looking. Oh, I think I'd like some more in there. So I'll do some halves. And traditionally, you see, minced meat would have been started several months ago, and just stirred regularly, and it usually has brandy in it. I started doing this with coffee liqueur, and I got onto doing that because the Christmas cake I do also uses a coffee liqueur, and I liked the taste that it gave, so I started incorporating it whenever I was doing mincemeat. So right, so that's that well and truly mixed up. There's a bit there that's escaped. Next I'm going to add some walnuts, and I want to chop these up. The luxury mincemeats are actually quite expensive, and with just a few ingredients, you know, you can make your own. I love this chopper. I use this chopper for herbs as well. I've had it years, long time. I must have had it, oh gosh, let me think, about 20 years, and the blade is still nice and sharp. I don't want the walnuts too fine. I want them still in chunks. There we go. I'll put them into the jar. It might have been easier if I'd have mixed it all in the bowl actually, rather than trying to do it in the jar. There we go. I'm saving on the washing up, that's what I'm telling myself. My video number 2 of Christmas preparations is something that I have done for years at Christmas time. I'm not going to tell you what it is, you'll have to wait for the video to come out. And it was something, my background is I'm traditionally from Scotland, my family heritage is Scottish, and we didn't really do Christmas, but we did New Year. And there were certain things that was always prepared for that time of year. So I mean, we had Christmas presents and everything, but there wasn't a big thing made of Christmas. So, right, next thing is the coffee liqueur, and I'm adding half a cup. And of course the alcohol will get cooked out when I make my mince pies. Because I really want that to soak into my fruits and the nuts. And over the next couple of weeks I will give it the occasional stir. Now that is smelling really, really good. Seems quite a soppy mixture at the moment, but the fruits will soak up that liqueur. So I'm going to wipe around the rim of my jar because it's a little bit messy. There we go. Seal that up, and that will just get put away on the shelf, stirred over the next few weeks, every few days maybe, and that will be my version of a luxury mincemeat that they do charge a fortune for in the shop. And like I say, no cook, quick and easy to do. So please like, a good thumbs up on the video would be good. It helps the logarithms register our videos, and also any comments would be great. Do you make your own mincemeat? Have you used a cheap one and added luxury items? I'd be interested to know what other people do. Please hit the subscribe button, which you will find down below. And then you can keep track of all the Christmas preparations we're doing over the next few weeks. And some of them are family traditions that have gone on since I was a child. And some are things that have evolved, that I've done with my own children. So I'll catch up with you soon on the next video, and take care everybody, and don't forget, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button.